So I'm going to give y'all a little update. Say hi, babies. You're on YouTube. Say hi. We're on YouTube. Hey, YouTubers. You might remember this car out here was the Prius that a guy I go to church with had a wreck in, and he brought it over here, and we patched her up, put a bunch of new front end pieces up under the skin, put a new front bumper on it and a new back bumper, and did a whole bunch of stuff. Got her going again anyway. Well, he had a little trouble with it. In a Prius, when something goes bad, you get what's called the red triangle of death, and what that means is something's about to happen, something bad. You can see there's some stress bends in this front bumper here, like right up in here. This whole front end was sideways. We had to pull it over with a strap. I used this thing to yank the front end over to move it over about an inch or two. Well, anyway, that little red triangle of death came on, and he put a new small battery in it, and that didn't fix it. And then he went through and replaced some of the things in the big battery, and that didn't fix it. And he put a new wiring harness for the whole stuff. It's all, I don't know if it's unlocked. These cars can lock themselves sometimes electronically, but I just raised the back end up so you can see. And we had to put them gloves in there so that wouldn't latch, because these things will lock themselves, and if they don't have any battery, you can't unlock them. But he replaced the batteries in here. He replaced this thing here. He replaced this little battery here, and he replaced the cable that runs from here all the way across up in there. Couldn't get it to work, and he works for a living like a lot of people do, and he just didn't have time to keep messing with it. So he found another little car for sale, and he just bought that other little car. And he asked me if I had any thoughts about what to do with it, and I said, well, you know, I've known people from time to time that really need a car, and I'm thinking about a couple different people I've known, and they couldn't afford a car. You know, sometimes those of us that can afford a car take it for granted, but I mean, I've been in the shoes of somebody. I've been that person who couldn't afford a car to get to work. I remember one time when I had to swap I had taken a hot water heater out of a house. I swapped a hot water heater for a Buick. See if I'm getting this story right. I think I am. And I drove that Buick to work for the longest time. And then I did something else. I swapped something else for a little Nova that was rusted slap out, and I couldn't get a sticker on it. And back then up in Maine, if you had rust on a car, they wouldn't give you a sticker. So I sided that car with plastic siding, the kind of plastic siding that you might have on like my trailer up there. And I took it to this guy, you know, who was doing inspections, and he looked at that, and he looked at me, and he had that quizzical look on his face, like, what am I going to do with you? And I said, look, I'm poor. I need this thing to get to work. I need you to put a sticker on it. And I could see the wheels turning in his head. He was thinking that over, and he like stuck the sticker on there and said, get out of here. So I had me a car with a sticker on it for a little while. Later on, I was driving that Nova up the road on the way to work, and the gas tank fell out because it was rusted so bad it wouldn't hold the gas tank up. So I had to pull that back up in there and wire it in place with clothes hanger wire. And at a certain point, I took that motor out. It had a little 305 in it, and we put it in our first race car. It's going way back. And the other car fell on me and almost killed me. I was jacking it up, and I was young. I didn't really think it through, and I had two old style bumper jacks, one on the front, one on the back. Well, of course, you probably know what happened. I was underneath that thing, and them two jacks both went this way and pinned me to the ground. I'm getting all out of my storytelling here. What I was starting this out was just to kind of catch you up on what I've been doing lately. So to get back to today, let's see. Went to 2 car shows this weekend. I pulled the rat rod out and the battery was dead. And I bought one of these little remanufactured, I guess what they call it, batteries from a guy not far from here. And it just pooped out, and it wasn't but a few months old. And I called him up, and he said, I guarantee him for 90 days. And I said, well, dang. So so I went up to the Wall of Mart, and I got one of these 1-year cheap batteries to stick back in here to get this thing to go. But I took this car, and we went to the car show over in Iowa, and there was 170 cars there. I got a lot of video. I got to meet a lot of my friends. I had a really nice time. I went with Kevin. He's the guy with that black Model A, and he wound up bringing 7 other cars. So there was a parade of cars, and on the way over there, I was going to meet them, and I saw some cars at a gas station, and I pulled in the gas station. There was 2 Camaros. One of them had a great big giant motor sticking out of the hood, one of them blowers that's as big as a house, and they was like, yeah, we don't know the way to the show. I said, well, follow me. So that made 7, 8, 9, including me. That was 10 cars rolling over to the car show. We had a real nice time. Well, after that show was over, we came back home. I fed the babies and took a nap and got back up, and then we drove over to Livonia. They was having a car show over there, so that was a really enjoyable show. And I took some videos, and I sat around and ate me a barbecue sandwich. And then I just got me a comfortable chair. I keep a couple of comfortable chairs in the back of this car for that. And I set it behind the car, ate my barbecue sandwich, and I left a little early from that show. They might have been giving away trophies, but I generally don't wait to get trophies. I generally just go home when I feel like it, because I don't need more trophies. I got race car trophies up in the other garage, and I got trophies. Oh, I got trophies up here from local car shows. Let's see what I got here. See, I got these ones, and I got these ones, and that's my 160 mile an hour speeding ticket from the Studebaker. I got plenty of trophies. I don't need to wait for more. But I'm gonna tell you, driving this car home, it was dark. It was getting dark. I had my new, my new good high tech headlights in here instead of them old dull headlights that I used to have. And it was just completely pleasurable. It drove so nice. It steered so nice. It was so comfortable to drive. It sounded good. The headlights were good. I clicked the air conditioner on. Oh, it was good. Everything was good about the show, about the drive, about the car. It was just a wonderful freaking day, and I loved it. But I'm also, see, this is a long story, so I hope y'all sit back, get your feet on the table, and drink your coffee while I tell you this story. So another thing that was going on, this was a big car show weekend, I guess, because Randy, who is the guy with the red 55 Chevy truck with the LS engine and the electric air conditioner in it, and Don, who's the guy that put my air conditioner in, they was going to a different show up in, I think it was Centerville, somewhere up in South Carolina, where they had some drag racing going on. And Randy's into drag racing. He's got 3 dragsters in his garage. So he was talking about, you ought to come to this show and you shoot a bunch of videos. There's going to be some great stuff there. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, let me just give you a camera and you shoot. So he took my camera with him, and he shot videos at the show. And I was over at Iowa and then over at Livonia making videos. So I got videos from him and videos from me and videos from 2 different shows in 2 different states. And so I got all them videos to put up, and today's a beautiful day, and not only don't want to sit around making videos, but I've got this Prius on this trailer. I didn't tell you the rest of the story about that Prius. So the reason I got that Prius, let's go back up there and talk about this, because this is important. The reason I got that Prius is because, let me drive up here so you won't hear all that rattling. Oh, I got some loose pieces up there. Oh, the joy. So the reason I got this Prius is David said to me at church the other day, he said, well, I don't need that car. I'm going to get rid of it. You know anybody that would like to have it? And I said, well, I have at different times in my life known people that didn't have a car and needed a car. And I said, I'll take it, and I'll see if I can get it fixed and going and give it to somebody. So I brought it home on the trailer here, and the way this thing is wired, you have to put a jumper cable from a battery on this to unlock the transmission so you can roll it on and off the trailer. And I called another guy from church who's into high-tech electronical modern stuff, and he recommended me to another guy, and I got to talking to the guy. And what's going to happen is tonight I'm going to take this car over and I'm going to give it to that other guy. His name's Jeremy, and Jeremy is going to, we were walking through what is probably wrong with this, and he was saying the kind of stuff that David was saying about, it's probably got a wire that's not connected right, or it might have some corrosion or something like that, and that's the kind of thing, if you're young and you understand that stuff, that's just like me, understanding if I need to put a water pump or a gas pump or something like that on a car. I understand that, but I don't understand much about these hybrid cars that have batteries in them. And he just happened to know another guy who is exactly what we were talking about a while ago. Can't really afford a car, but needs a car to get to work. And I told him that I had this and I wanted to, get it fixed up and give it to somebody that needed it. And he said, well, I know a guy that needs it and I think I can fix it up. So I'm going to take it over tonight and give it to him. He's going to fix it up and give it to this other guy. So what we're doing through our church, and this is something we like to do through our church, is we like to really pride ourselves on being helpful to other people. I mean, there's a lot of churches around, and we don't want a big auditorium. We don't want a big whatever. We don't want big and fancy church. We want to be the church that welcomes everybody and that doesn't turn away anybody, and that helps people that needs help. So this car is part of a mission. Me and David and Nick, who also goes to our church, and Jeremy, who's this other guy that goes to our church. So with the cooperative effort of all of us, hopefully this car will become somebody's car that they can drive to work every day and they won't have to pay money for. So that's the plan. That's what we're doing here. So what that just did, me telling you all that, is it tells you what I'm doing today. And what's going to happen with all them videos I shot, I think I've got like 53 videos from that first car show. And then I've got another 40 from the one in Livonia, and then I've got another 26 from the one that Randy said. So I've got lots of videos that needs to be put up. And what I like to do on nice days like this is I like to mess around with the hot rods, and little things that needs to be done outside. And look at me in the shirt sleeve weather, and then when it rains, I like to sit around and make videos. So that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that battery in that rat rod and get it where it's turnkey ready, just in case it's nice. See, I got another show coming up this weekend over in Lounsville, and that's a good one. They have pinup girls and valve cover races and all kind of cool stuff over there. So I can put that battery in that rat rod and get it going, and I also want to ride it around and see how it rides on them big Traeger mags that I put on it. And I can do that today while it's not raining, and then if it rains tomorrow, I can go in there and start making videos. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one up now, because what that'll mean is you'll see this video, but you won't see them other videos probably for another week or two, because that's about how long it usually takes me to catch up between what I shot and what I put up. I think I said everything I needed to say. Another thing that's on my list or on my mind is I'm kind of thinking about pulling the pontoon boat out and maybe the other boat too. Although, as long as the weather stays like this, having it in the water is a good thing. So, I don't know. But at some point, Honey Baby's still in Louisiana because her sister's daughter died of cancer. She was a young person, and so she's been over there with her for a week. So, I tell you, my wife, Honey Baby, she's something special. She jumped in her little car and took off driving and drove all the way to Louisiana, and one, just like zoom, I'm on my way. And for someone her age, 78 years old, gonna jump in a car and drive it over 3 states: Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. Is Louisiana on the other side, or is that Mississippi? I think it's Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, but I'm not sure. Anyway, she's over there. She's gonna come home maybe tomorrow. Their funeral's 7 today. that's what's going on in the peak world here. Also, Luke Palioka. Now, I've got to do a whole special video on Luke Palioka, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the talking on it. And then later I'll grab his calendar so we can talk about that. But Luke Palioka's got a new calendar out. And he surprised me. Normally people pay big bucks to get him to make a picture of their cars. Well, he surprised me. He had, on his own initiative, made a picture of the 55 Ford station wagon, the one with the 3-speed overdrive and 292 solid lifter Y block, and the overdrive transmission and all that. He had painted that car. I say painted, but I think he does with pencils, as though it was restored. So when it left and it had a few rusty spots and some rough spots that I was working on, well, in his picture, it looks the way it would look if it was all redone, fresh and new. So, and then he put that in the calendar. That was a surprise to me. That's a sweet surprise. So y'all know, I'm just letting y'all know, Luke's calendars are out for this year. Luke Palioka, alias Lead Sled Arts, and that's spelled L-E-D-S-L-E-D Arts, is out. So if you want to get you one, because everybody that's cool in the hot rod world that knows about it gets themselves a Luke Palioka Lead Sled Art calendar every year. I also contacted Mitch, the guy that bought that Ford, to let him know that that calendar was out and that it had that 55 Ford wagon in it, because I figured Mitch might want to have that calendar since he had the car. And so we had a long conversation that got into a lot of stuff that I won't talk about because it involves some illegal activity that I shouldn't be discussing. But there's just a whole lot going on in the world. And right there, up under the tongue of that trailer is Buddy. Buddy! So I see you under there, Buddy. I see your little ears poking up. Hey, there's Buddy. You want to come up here and show everybody how you jump up on the cart? Whee! That's my Buddy. Buddy likes to ride with me on the golf cart. Yeah, I do. I like to ride with Daddy. Oh, that's my baby. That's my buddy baby. And my other buddy, there's Daisy. Daisy! Oh, look at Daisy. Look at Daisy. Oh, Daisy. Oh, we love Daisy. Okay, I'm going to stop this video. I'm actually going to load this one now. So when you see it, it will be fresh from today. And then I'll get back. Oh, y'all going to play? You going to run around? Ah, look at them go. Whee! Ah, wee! Wee! Them too. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Okay, let me go put this video up, and you'll have something to look at if it's fresh from today. And then there will be more coming later, I guarantee. See ya. Appreciate you. You want to come in? Yeah, come on in. You can go in and watch me make videos. Oh, the joy. Or you can stay out. It's up to you. You decide. Say, Daddy, there's water out here to be drank. He might rather stay out.